Thank you so much for tuning in to this special offsite episode of Connect. We're here at the Woodruff Arts Center in Midtown Atlanta for Build Tech Week. And sitting beside me is William Akridge of Akridge Ventures. You are the managing director, correct?
That is correct. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, in from DC.
That's right.
Which we were talking about, off camera, just the beautiful line of sight.
It is a beautiful place. It's not a concrete jungle and obviously has a lot of history.
Yes.
For our nation. But I did go to school here in Atlanta, and so a little home away from home. It's nice to be back, to be at the event, and also see some friends.
So what did you study at Georgia Tech?
So I started off in mechanical engineering and then wound up in business with finance and operations degree.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so tell us about Akridge Ventures.
Sure. So Akridge Ventures, though we are sector agnostic and geographic agnostic, my background, our family operating company is a commercial real estate developer and property manager. So that's some expertise that we bring to the table. And so we focus in the built tech, prop tech, AEC tech landscape as well, with the idea that we're able to leverage the expertise from the family operating company to better diligence deals. So I can take a technology and take it to those users in the field who would actually be deploying that technology and really understand from them is one, is it a product? Two, is it something they'd use? And three, is it something they'd actually pay for?
Right,
Yeah.
That's the key.
For sure.
And what are you most excited about in attending Build Tech Week?
Matt and KP are great. I've known them for a little while, so it's really nice to be down here. But I think it's bringing together, as you said, the thought leaders in the space. It's a really growing space, so we're going to see, from all different stakeholders, from entrepreneurs to end users and clients, as well as investors. So it's great for networking, but you always have to keep up with the times and learn what's on the forefront. And this is a great place to do it.
What's one of the key takeaways that you will be taking home with you?
Well, I really looked, wherever we go, it's being in our position as an investor. People come to you a lot. They're looking for your help, not only with financing, but also access to your network.
Right.
And so I always go looking for great deals and really smart entrepreneurs. And Atlanta has a lot of those. And so that's really exciting. And then kind of the networking opportunity on the other side with investors is that very few investors can do it alone. And so that you try to find a group that brings all different expertise to the table so that you can better diligence deals. And then you also can help better support those companies, access networks, drive growth, as well as kind of pool capital to ensure you're meeting their capital needs.
What are you most invigorated about for, the rest of Q4 and the coming 2019?
Well, I think we're really seeing the space grow in built technology investing. It's something that has been very underdeveloped. I think that real estate and construction make up about almost 20% of GDP, but only get about 4% of venture funding.
Wow.
We've been doing it in the space like we've been doing it for many, many years, and there has not been a lot of innovation. I think we're starting to see a lot of our workforce age out and a lot of younger workforce come into play, and there's a demand for technology there. So there's a demand from the workforce, and then there's a lot of inefficiency created from a lack of adoption of technology. And so the space in general is very exciting. Kind of individual sectors, we're seeing a lot in, a lot of use of drones, computer vision. We have exoskeletons, which is something big at Georgia Tech, as well as just use of big data and analysis to provide actionable insights for the people on the ground that we haven't seen in a long time. We're also seeing interesting things in materials, which may not be very sexy, but is exciting to me.
Oh, yeah.
And right, our built environment, we see concrete all around us, and that's changing in and of itself. So there's a lot of technology that is being brought to bear to improve efficiencies and drive growth.
Talk to me about exoskeletons. That's something I'm not as familiar with.
Well, I think that, so also in the manufacturing side, we're seeing that as well. There's a big play with worker safety that we're seeing from repetitive motion syndrome. and exoskeletons can help. And a lot of people think of it as, the Terminator or this very high-tech technology, but it can go even down to low-tech and not actually be powered, which is interesting. So just using counterweights and things like that to, once we better understand ergonomics and the human body, then we're able to really help, one, efficiency, but also when you see what a workers' compensation claim does, on a construction site, and then also how it pushes premiums, which are very, very expensive.
Yes.
A single accident can be so incredibly expensive that if we're able to lower those, I think we're able to, again, see increased efficiency and growth, driving increased profit margins. And also in the end, they're really cool.
Yeah. I'm still excited about the conversations I had yesterday, one with Cliff Moser of Stanford Healthcare, and just how they're designing hospitals to withstand earthquakes, and the moats and the ball bearings. And you don't think about those sort of things.
It's true.
When you walk into a building, unless you're you or the people attending here. And then also,
unless it falls down, you don't think about it until afterwards. So I think we're really starting to become more progressive on how we are designing our spaces, not only in their structural stability, but also in the idea of well buildings, how they affect us and our health, and also kind of our psychology of how we feel in spaces. That again drives efficiency in the end, because one of the biggest variables in our society is us, the people.
Right.
You can control your systems, and there's great tech out there now to understand when they're going to break down or how to use them most efficiently, how to use energy most efficiently. But we, as I said, are the biggest variable. And so to understand us better and how we interact with our spaces, I think is really important.
And on that note, given that we are the biggest variable, talking about the loss of life and just preventing accidents on site, it's really reassuring to know that those incidences are going down thanks to technology. I was talking with Paul Doherty of the Digit Group about these billion-dollar projects of raising cities, and to have only one incident, and it was like a carpal tunnel type thing.
That's right.
Not even a major tragic accident. That's huge.
And we're seeing computer vision come into play there, of using 360 cameras to recognize dangerous areas, and also we're seeing wearables for workers to ensure that they are in the right spaces that they're supposed to be in, that they are not at risk for a trip and fall or from a fall from heights. And that connectivity not only keeps the worker more safe, but also provides data to ensure that we're using our workers more efficiently. So you don't need more than X number of people on a job, I think is really important as well.
So in the consumer tech space, there are unicorns, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, et cetera.
Right.
Who are the unicorns of the built tech space?
Well, I think, getting on to more the property technology and real estate technology, we definitely see Airbnb and WeWork. Katera is a modular builder, and then Procore, which is a construction management software. So I think it's interesting, you got to think of the space of, with consumer tech, you can create an app or you can create a program that can be adopted by millions of people, in a matter of weeks. That's not something that I think that we see in the prop tech space, but I also think that our batting average is higher. So once you see companies get to a certain level, I think that you can predict with more certainty a greater level of success. So we may not be the fastest growing sector, but I think that we are one of the most stable sectors in venture capital.
And crucial, I mean.
And I think we're seeing, as I said, such a small amount of funding goes into, I think we're really starting to see the VC community start to turn its eye and recognize value. And I think there are a lot of factors in play, and they say if you're not paddling before the wave comes, you're going to miss it. And I think this is the exact right time to paddle, as we see not only thought process, really recognize that there are inefficiencies and that we can fix them, and money coming together at the same time, but then also really smart people, hardworking entrepreneurs. They're the people who really deserve the credit. These people work tirelessly for years on end at times, and I think they really need our support, not only in our capital, but also help organizationally, managerially, but then also using our networks of people who, a lot of VCs in our space come from the industry in some way, shape, or form. So to leverage those networks to, again, really drive growth.
Sam, we got to make a note of that the paddling thing for social, like that is, when you see your clip online, weird, yeah. Felt that one right here.
Okay,
that was
good.
good.
Good. My wife told me to say that, so I can give that to her.
So, William, if people want to connect with you after watching this episode, do you prefer Twitter, LinkedIn? You want people to visit the website?
Just go to my website, go to the contact form,
okay.
and send me that information, and we can connect there. And as always, as more information than not as possible is always preferred. And send me your deck. Would love to take a look, and hopefully we can do some business together.
Cool. And so that's Akridge.com.
AkridgeVentures.com.
AkridgeVentures.com.
Yes. Yep, exactly.
Great. Well,
Thank
William,
you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. It's a
I
pleasure
appreciate
to
your
meet
time.
you.
Cheers.